In this busy world that we live in, nobody has time for gym anxiety. Hi there, and welcome to the Air Hug Community Podcast. If you're new here, let me just give you the quickie. This is a podcast for midlife women who aspire to live better. We talk about mental fitness, emotional fitness, and especially physical fitness. And the 3 episodes before this all had to do with physical fitness. And here's another one, but it really also spills over into emotional fitness as well. And what we're talking about today, and by the way, if you've already been here, welcome back. We're glad to have you. But today we're talking about gym anxiety, or anxiety that you have when you're working out. And so, I feel like nobody has the time or the energy or should have to deal with having anxiety when they're working on doing something to and make their lives better. And so I want to address 4 possible causes and solutions for anxiety when we are going to work out. One is being unsure of what to do. And that can be kind of scary. A lot of people walk into the gym, they don't know what to do, they don't have a plan, and so they maybe just hop on a cardio machine, which I would like to say is better than sitting on a couch, but if that's all you ever did, then it really is not a good solution. And obviously, cardio is an important piece of working out, but it's not the only piece. And if you want to go back and learn more about that, you can go back to episode, this is 127, episode 124, about what and how often to do for working out. And that will cover your question there. But if you're unsure what to do, you can also, of course, hire a trainer, but we'll get to that later. The second source of anxiety, and this is probably the hardest one, is that you compare yourself to others. So you walk into a gym, let's say you're going to start a workout program, you maybe haven't been there for a while, or you're going, either it's a new gym to you or it's one you're returning to. The worst thing in the world you can do is compare your week 1 to someone else's year 27. Because it's frustrating, right? And we all know, Eleanor Roosevelt said it best, comparison is the thief of joy. But literally comparing yourself in your fitness journey, especially if you're returning after a while to someone else who's not returning after a while, who's been there right along, is just not fair. It's apples to oranges. And so it doesn't do us any good. So the most important thing I can say is stay in your lane, start where you are, and number 1, 2, and 3, applaud yourself for getting there, and just don't look at where other people are. They didn't get where they are in a day, and you are not going to get there either. Okay. Number 3 is feeling judged. And I know a lot of gyms that are, actually I don't know, because true confession is I've never actually belonged to a big gym. But several people have shared with me that they don't like that feeling of walking into a big gym and feeling judged. Now, I have walked into big gyms, especially when I travel. I will go to other gyms to work out. And I get it that you walk in and you're kind of looking around wondering, especially if you feel like the new kid on the block, you're kind of feeling judged. Are people looking at me? Are they, what's wrong? Is there something in my nose? Is my workout outfit, weird or whatever? And that's another thing. You just have to put that out of your mind and ignore it. And we're going to talk about a couple of other solutions that we can come to for these feelings as we move along here. And the last one is feeling out of place. Maybe you have joined a meathead gym, and I don't mean that with any sort of bad connotation. A meathead gym where there's a lot of serious heavy weightlifting going on. Maybe there's power lifters, and maybe you're more into yoga or Zumba, or you just want to learn how to lift, and there are really no beginners there. It can be kind of hard to go into a place that might not be a good match for you. And so here's what I'm going to say are some great things that you can do when you're getting ready to begin a workout program or continue, or if the gym or program that you're in right now is not meeting your needs. Number one is I would talk to friends who are kind of in your wheelhouse. So if you're, for example, a midlife woman and you have some friends who are midlife women who train consistently and you notice that they're meeting their goals, whatever their goals might be. I don't want to put any words in anyone's mouth because obviously everyone's goals are personal. And not even goals, but their practices and what they tend to do, and that keeps them going. You could talk to them about what their situation, their gym, their trainer, their program is like, and how it works out for them. And you could maybe even ask them if they could ask the gym owner or the trainer at where they go if they could come and observe a session. And then you would know if it's your kind of place, if you felt like this was going to be your community. Another thing you could do is ask to talk with the trainer to see what their philosophy is. So maybe at that gym or another gym that you've done a little research about, find out as much as you can about how the programs work where you want to go, or how the trainer works where you're interested in getting training from, and see if that matches up with your philosophy of your vision for creating a better body for yourself. All right? The other thing you can do is pick a more private studio, one that only has a small amount of people training at a time. It might do small group personal training only, and when it's not open, it's not open. And in that case, that would be more private. So there would be no comparing yourself to others other than the people in your small community. And they're not really there to be compared to. They're there to lift each other up. And I think that's really important. I just want to take a step back. So if you don't know, what I do with my training clients is I have small group personal training. We are a small private studio. We are only open when sessions are scheduled. And we cap our number off at a small number of people so that I can walk around and work with people individually. And it's a small enough number, there's my tongue tie for today, such that we could have everyone doing the same workout. Or if someone is on a different workout, they could be doing their own workout that day, and they will still get what they need. So they could be off working on their own, or with one other person, or with the entire group. But the benefits of that are that it's private. You have the benefit of being with a community, a small community where everyone has everyone else's back, but you also have private instruction. And you also have the benefit of finding if that's the type of community you like, then go ahead and go for it. And if it's not, then maybe you should go ahead and keep researching until you find the community that feels right to you. So one other option is to consider an online trainer who specializes in your stage of life and fitness level. So for example, I have an online training membership. My online members train with me live twice a week, and they are actually part of the in-person training. So at that time, during those 2 sessions a week, we have the online people up on a monitor and the in-person people in the gym or studio, whatever you want to call it. I call it both interchangeably, and I'm able to coach each of them as they go. Very often, one of our in-person people will be a fitness model, so they will be doing the workout in front of the camera. And that's very interesting because everybody benefits that. The person doing the workout in front of the camera is really on high alert to get all their form right. I mean, if you actually ever want to try that, it's amazing. Video yourself and then look back. But just knowing that you're going to be watched, and honestly, you're only being watched by your peers, so it's not that big a deal. But it makes a big difference. The people who are online get to have a live person to follow for demos, and a lot of times I'll do a demo as well, but everybody benefits from that, and it's really a very synergistic type of thing. Just as an FYI, when I put together my membership, My clients not only online have those 2 sessions per week that they come to live, they also have an entire library of pre-recorded workouts that have been done that they can do on their off days. And then every month, about every 4-ish weeks or so, they get a new written program. And so not all of those workouts are live from start to end, but we talk about them and go through them, and we will do sometimes 2 of them, sometimes up to 4 of them in a given month. And then on the off days, they can go and do them. And they know that they can message me anytime with any questions, and I can point them to video demonstrations. There are some on my website, some on my YouTube channel. They can also look on YouTube for other demos if they haven't found it. And actually, we are considering doing it a little bit different in the future, with maybe even going to an app. So those are some of the things that you can do for the 4 most common gym anxiety issues. The unsure of what to do, get a trainer, go to a gym where you feel comfortable. Comparing yourself, it's very easy. It's not very easy. We all compare ourselves, but that's something we have to put a conscious effort into avoiding, and knowing that we are in our own lane, and it's important that we just keep our blinders on and do what we can do and not look sideways, forwards, or backwards at what other people are doing, even when it comes to picking up a weight. So, and that's another thing, is I always, always, always encourage people. This is a little tangent, but there's always going to be a tangent in these discussions. I always, always, always encourage people to grab a notebook and start recording their workouts like a journal. So they can be like, okay, today was the first time I did a kettlebell dead clean, and I used a 20-pound kettlebell. Write that down. So when they come back to it, they'll know, oh, this is what I was able to do for, 10 reps for 5 sets or something like that. All right, feeling judged. You want to go to a gym that has a community where you feel comfortable, where it's more of a synergistic community and people like you are there lifting each other up. And that definitely will take a little bit of research. Same thing, feeling out of place for whatever reason. Again, it will take a little bit of research to find a community that you feel comfortable in, but it's really worth it to do this little bit of research at the beginning so that you can find a location, a program, whether it's in person, online, a trainer, again, whether it's in person, online, that has your best interest at heart and that can meet you right where you are so that you can keep going. And of course, it's always nice to be in an environment with people who are like you. Again, if you're not a competitive power lifter, you may not want to be in a gym that primarily serves competitive power lifters. Or if you're here to just get as healthy as you can and firm up your body according to your standards, you may not want to be in a gym that has a lot of people who are doing competition prep, that kind of thing. So these are just some suggestions that I threw out there for you. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my contact information in the show notes. And I just put this out there so that anyone who's working on a new fitness program or trying to become more consistent, you find your community, you find your group, and give yourself the best chance you can at being consistent so that you can improve your body both inside and out. And I apologize, I'm working on a little bit of laryngitis here, and I think I might be at my limit because I'm starting to feel that raspiness. But again, any questions, ping me and I'll be happy to chat with you. Thank you. And next week, spoiler alert, our guest next week is an expert on tapping. And what an amazing episode this is. And actually, she did a little special tapping session with me on one of my fears that you guys are going to find out about next week. And there will be a link to that in the show notes next week. So make sure you tune in next Tuesday. This episode is going to rock your socks.